Jalen Rose, the Los Angeles Lakers revealed the championship banner. Will they get another one at the end of this season?
That's a beautiful scene. Great to see AD and LeBron and Jeannie Buss and the family, Lakers Nation, enjoying their 17th championship to tie the Celtics. That's as close as you'll get to a championship. Let's start the show.
He is Jalen Rose. I'm David Jacoby. We are Jalen and Jacoby. What exactly is it that we do?
What up, though? We get the people what they want.
There is so much to discuss in the NBA, and we will discuss some of that with the Mavs, Jalen Brunson later, but we start with the return of the beard in Brooklyn. James Harden is back, and Jalen, he didn't even look like he missed a step. I liked what I saw from him. What do you think?
When you step through to Brooklyn, so he's a masterful playmaker, and when he's out on the floor, I appreciate his role now with the Nets is to understand that he got to make everybody around him better. He's the facilitator. He's the orchestrator. He's the quarterback of the offense. Kyrie's the assassin. Is going to go one-on-one and try to go for 35 every night. KD, Iceberg Slim, shooting trades from the suburbs. James Harden is the guy that now everybody else wants to move, and Jeff Green wants to cut, and Claxton is getting dunks, and Harris can now get more opportunities. And he plays at his own pace. And I know what you're now going to say to me. Hey, Jalen, since Harden is back, are you ready to predict that the Nets are going to win it all? Is that what you're ready for me to say? Is that what you're ready to challenge me on?
I like you going against the Nets. I like you picking against the Nets because I know the Nets are going to come out of the East, and you're going to change your pick eventually. But one thing I love about James Harden, he's very self-aware. He understands who James Harden is, and here's what he had to say after the game.
Not to brag or anything, but I'm really good at this game.
I love this. He's like, look, I'm going to be humble about this, but I'm really good at basketball. So y'all might be surprised that I look so good playing basketball today, but I'm really good at basketball. Love it so much.
And also, based on the sacrifice each needs to make, KD is a two-time Finals MVP. We've seen Kyrie win a championship. James now making this a supers team has to be the one that makes the sacrifices. And fortunately for them, his game is built to do so. Years ago, people thought I was bugging when I said Harden is the most unique offensive weapon that has ever played in the NBA. You know, George Gervin got my phone number right. You know, I had so many people hitting me that was like, are you kidding me? And I'm like, he's the only guy that's ever gonna lead the league in total threes made, free throws made, total assists. Just think about that. Usually that's 4 different guys. James Harden has been the embodiment of your unique talent, and now that he's healthy, I know why you're very excited about the Nets. But their big three still has only played 7 games together.
Well, when James Harden is on the floor, the Nets are 28-7. When he is off, they're 11-11. They're certainly in a better spot with him than without him. And we move on to another team looking to get all their superstars on the floor, and that is the Los Angeles Lakers, who we just saw raise the banner. Well, didn't have the superstars on the floor for this one, but they did have some good contributions from others. What do you think about the bench coming through in this one?
When teams win championships, there's a reason why everybody affiliated gets a ring. Family members, people that work in the organization, even sometimes people that cover the team, and everybody on the roster. Of course, we're going to celebrate LeBron James and his excellence and Anthony Davis being their top players. But if you're looking now deeper into the Lakers roster, Kyle Kuzma giving them quality minutes. Andre Drummond has now started to play better. THT with Schroeder and Caruso out is now giving them a great opportunity to win games. So each of those guys feel confident about themselves. Montrezl Harrell was just recently getting DNPs, Jacoby. He's the 6th man of the year. It just shows you the kind of depth that they have when they're healthy.
Well, when you look at where the Lakers are in the standings in the West, we talked yesterday about how maybe going to the play-in game wouldn't be the worst thing because you end up matched up with the Suns instead of the Clippers. But The Blazers won yesterday against the Jazz. The Mavericks won yesterday against the Pelicans. They're not giving up the 5 and 6 spot. I think the Lakers will end up in 7 in the play-in, and I also think that's not the worst thing in the world. What do you think?
I agree with you. All things relative. However, you don't have room for error when you flirt with the play-in game. I mentioned the Lakers last night, but LeBron wasn't playing, and AD wasn't playing. And AD has a groin injury. And you know what I learned about those? They don't necessarily heal overnight. So this is something that likely is going to linger with Anthony Davis. So the goal should be to play less games, Jacoby, and not more. You put yourself in the play-in, all of a sudden a freak injury or accident happens, Steph Curry goes out and puts up 45 on you, and before you know it, you're out in the play-in. And so it's important for them, yes, if all things are relative, to play against the Suns versus the Clippers. But they're not in a position to play those games because you're now flirting with a single or double game elimination because you're involved in the play-in.
I fully expected LeBron James to be in uniform when that banner was revealed. Didn't you? Because we thought maybe he would play Tuesday night. And the idea that he wasn't available, that he wasn't in uniform when that banner was revealed, was a little bit concerning for someone who definitely has the Lakers coming out of the Western Conference. But I look forward to seeing him on the court soon. I don't think he's going to make his debut in a play-in tournament. Jalen, it is now time.
Let's get to the night. Last night, Lakers, Rockets in LA, and the Lakers begin the night by lifting their 2020 championship banner at Staples, but playing without LeBron, AD, Dennis Schroeder, Alex Caruso. A game they needed to win. There's Montrezl Harrell fishing with a jam. They're playing the Rockets. LeBron and AD love it. Here comes Kyle Kuzma throwing it up. Andre Drummond throwing it down. Lakers by 6 at the half. Under 5 minutes to go. Lakers up by 5. It's Kuzma again. He needed to be the man last night, and in moments he was. He had 18 points, 10 boards, 7 is last night. Most in a game in 25 years. Under 2 minutes to go. Rockets. That's Jason Tate. That's a 3. It's a 2-point game. After some Rocket free throws, the Lakers were down 1. 10 seconds to go. They need a bucket, and Kuzma's got it. The Euro step, and it's good. Lakers win a game they need, 124-122. They win, but so do the two teams in front of them in the standings, Portland and Dallas. The Lakers are a game out of a top 6 spot with 2 games remaining in the regular season. Our analytics give them an 89% chance to wind up in the play-in tournament. LeBron James has now missed 26 of the last 28 games. He was expected to play last night. He didn't, and he tweeted, "Getting close, but I won't be in the lineup tonight. More importantly, I will be there to put that championship banner in the rafters at Staples Center in front of our fans." Let's talk about that and more. And look who is back with us here. Big Perk gets up with us, and Vince Carter. It has been a long time since we had you on the program. Great to see you, Vince, as always. And let me just start with that. You know, the Lakers, they're resting their guys. They're resting up for the playoffs, regardless of what it means. LeBron is saying raising the banner is more important than playing in the games. What is your perspective of the way they're going on the stretch here in LA? Vince?
I still say it's a slippery slope. They obviously, the organization and the players feel comfortable in being in that position and feel like, hey, health is first. I agree with that part of it. But you just don't want to run into a team that has a great night and knock you off. Yeah, so they feel they want to be a 7th spot. Yeah, I've heard Perk say before, positioning themselves for the matchup they like. In sports today, the reality of all of this is that sometimes you want to be in the position that makes sense for your ball club and your organization. So yes, they might, maybe they're looking at standings and say, hey, this is a team we feel we can play, we can get ourselves back into basketball shape, get some cohesiveness as a unit, and propel ourselves and move forward. Because just think about this. You don't want to see a Laker team that's number 7, number 8 in the playoffs. That's a cheat code. It is not fair, but this is the position and the hand that they're dealt with. So they're playing smart in making sure their superstars are healthy for the big moments.
That's interesting. You know, what'd you think of that? LeBron saying last night, I'd be there to raise the banner, but not to play in the game. Some people that kind of rubbed the wrong way. What'd you think of that whole thing?
Well, I mean, that's LeBron being LeBron right now, playing those mind games. But look, Greeny, he didn't need to play last night. Neither him or Anthony Davis. Like I said, they were playing the Houston Rockets. And the great thing about it, over the past month, Who's been struggling for the Lakers? The role players. So this was a great game to get their confidence up. We don't know the situation for us with Dennis Schroeder. So now you're able to move Taylor Horton Tucker and get him some reps at the